All right now we're taking this top nut off of the Triple Tree 4-hour Super Magna 1987. I don't know what size this is. I don't have a socket big enough, and I think I did, but I don't know where it is. So I used a pipe wrench, and actually it was pretty loose, so I was able to get it loose. So we have this cap, and then we have this here sucker, washer, I guess you would say. Yeah, washer. And now, you know, Yamaha typically has another lock washer and stuff under here. I guess it's not the case here. So what it looks like is this might actually lift right off. Kind of looks like I could pop this off. That's holding this on yet. Let's pop it with the hammer, and then it probably will come loose. I don't want to break anything because we'll be selling this. Yeah, that's shimmying up. I'll keep at this, and once this is up, let's see if we have a lock washer underneath there. Yeah, I see a collar. That's gonna hold your bearings and stuff in there on the upper side. Here we go. Here's our lock washers and such. So you're gonna drop that down. That locks the upper sucker in place. Just get in there with a screwdriver. Just pry it down. Usually it's pretty easy. You might want to, we just have two. All right, so now this one's gonna turn. Yeah, everything's pretty loose here. That's why this is in there, because this doesn't need to be too tight, then you're gonna have issues. So there's one. I'm gonna flip that up there. Now we have our lock washer in place. I'm gonna flip that up there. Now we have our lower one, and this is attached to, oh, it's a little bent. Don't want that to be bent. This is going to be attached to this cover, and that's to keep moisture out underneath here. So now this is going to turn the whole thing if we take this. If this is too tight, you just grab a hammer and kind of coax it that way. Get it to the one side. See, this is all loose now. Yeah, I'll grab a hammer and start tapping it that way, and then it should come free, and then we'll have bearings underneath. Let's see if these are race bearings or just little ball bearings. All right, pop this free. Now this is gonna turn off. Now what's gonna happen is when you loosen this up, this whole thing's gonna start to drop. You're gonna have bearings on the bottom, bearings on the top. And like I said, if these are factory, there's probably little ball bearings. If this has been replaced before, see, I'm holding this up with my leg. If this has been replaced before, we'll probably have race bearings. What do we got? What do we got? Reveal. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. That's going to be sitting in there underneath there. So now, the reason this isn't moving is because I'm holding it. There we go. So this is just your dust and dirt cover, your seal to keep this thing packed. There you go. That's good. And then we have our upper race that should slide out of there pretty easily. Okay, there's our upper race. Set that over there. And then here's our bearings. Okay, well, I don't know. Maybe the Super Magnas were new enough that they got these from factory. There you go. There's your upper bearings. Okay. And now we can just drop this down through and remove the whole thing, knowing that the bottom is the same. We have our dust cover, our lower bearings, and our steering neck. So there's that. All that's off. Now you just have a Hulk. You have a race that's pressed in here and a race that's pressed in the bottom. Here is our steering. Oh, we got two screws here. Steering lock. I don't know if that has a key code on it or not. I don't have any other keys. Maybe we can make a key for that if we need to. Pop these two screws out. All right, so that's done. I think I'll sell all this together because that's actually pretty nice. we'll put it together and take some pictures. All right, well, these screws came out really easy. I didn't even have to tap on them, but just had a big Phillips head screwdriver, and they came out of there. And this is your steering lock. It's a pretty nice looking lock. I don't have any other keys for this bike. Well, I don't have keys for it, but also we have the key code. It's amazing where these things pop up sometimes. You see it right under here? This is your key code. It's a 6-digit number. I don't think you're gonna steal my bike. Good luck if you try. It's not gonna start. So here's your key code, and I can get a key made for this, and this will work. So I don't know, listed on eBay. Maybe it'll be something somebody picks up. I don't know if I need to get a key made for them, or somebody can get a key made themselves. It only costs 15 or 16 bucks. You can have a key for your lock. So I'm gonna take some pictures of this. What's the best? What is the best? Let's do this, I guess. There you go. First picture. You guys are here for everything. Man, looks good. Probably don't sell well because who's buying these? All right, next thing, let's get this crappy rear sucker off of here. Can pop this little, I think there's a hole somewhere around here. They can pop this off. Yep, of course it's at the bottom, and my screwdriver's too long to get in there under from the grass. I need a smaller screwdriver. Other side, you can pop that off pretty quick and easy. Pop, just like that. That doesn't look like it, well, I don't know. So now we have to grab our giant hex nuts, hex screw things. This shouldn't be that hard. Well, there's one on that side too. There's probably a lock nut in there. If I know Honda. And the reason I couldn't pull this out from the last video is because that's bolted to the U-joint in here. So you have to unbolt the U-joint from the shaft, if I remember correctly. And we'll know that once this is off, because then I can pull this out over that and throw this piece away because it's trash. All right, we pop that off, and we got some good rust in there. But if we just stick a giant hex in there, we can get this off and then get the other side off. It's a big one. 17, wait, it's around here somewhere. 17 millimeter hex. That fits on both sides. So we'll go ahead and torque those out and then run them out the impact. All right, got the right one out. There she is. We'll save her with the lock nut on there. I used to pull those off first, and then I realized you could just turn them out. And then it just pulled a little bit to the right, and look at that, she popped right off. There's the shaft that goes into the transmission, and then like I said, now we can't pull this through here, but you see this goes up and opens up there. That's where your elbow is located. So if you have a clunky sound coming from in here, you probably have a bad elbow or something off. So now that I can get out, all I gotta do is dump it this direction. I don't know, it should fall out. It's a little tight there. But we also have, what? This just fell off? Oh, that's right, this is the inside. Look at all that grease packed in there. There's a cap there, I guess, to keep this closed up. Here's a boot. We'll sell that. And then, yeah, this guy should. Look how rusty that is. I don't know if that was sealing or was it water getting in there. Probably moisture getting in there. That's crazy how rusty that is. So, the inner workings of a Super Magna. I don't know what the history of this bike is. Oh man, she doesn't want to come out this way either. Well, maybe she's stuck in there. There's gonna be a way to get it out, but for now, I don't know. So now we have that out of the way. We can go ahead and get the brake lever off. We'll undo that spring. I think, basically, since this is not being held on here, I think we can just knock that through. Where'd my hammer go? We should be able to just tap that back through, and that whole thing will come off, and then we can easily get the spring off. All right, here we go. Like I said, pretty sure. Tap, tap. That spring's loose. It's not even tight. But that comes right through here. And we can put this up for sale. We're stuck in the grass. Stuck in the grass. All right, so there's that guy. Got everything you need. It's gonna be a long, skinny package, but that'll put you on the board for a straight rear brake arm, lever, all that good stuff. And then, yeah, we can turn out, we can take off these back foot pegs. And I did notice, this is not very interesting, there's a bracket up in here that's just sitting there. I didn't take this off, so just sitting up in here, this bracket, I should be able to pop that off pretty easily. Okay. Okay, rolling this thing around. Looks like our stator cover has no bolts in it, so that should be free. Just need to grab a mallet and knock it loose. Don't want to use a hammer because you could crack it or dent it or scratch it. So grab a mallet and go bang, bang. And there's probably a dowel in here somewhere. Something that actually keeps it in place. This will be held on by magnetic force too. So once you get it loose, then you gotta maybe wedge something in there and just easily pry it up. Carefully pry it up. We're also gonna pull the starter. Sometimes these starters are worth something. I always test them. And other times they're not. So this looks like 8mm bolts. One here and one up here. So I'm gonna get that out. Once you take the bolts out, then you can wiggle it free of the engine crankcase. And then, yeah, we'll continue. I don't know what else we'll take off of this, but we need to figure out what's holding this engine in yet. The frame's missing on this side, and there must be, right here. This is holding it in, probably one on the other side. And something on the other side is probably all free, because usually in the front it goes through the whole engine. Might be a mount down there yet. Right in here. I'm not sure if I took that out. It looks like it's free. So I might have taken that out already. It would have been an identical one on this side that I already pulled off. So we're gonna get this engine free so it can roll out of the frame. Get this frame out of the way. There's not a whole lot more we can keep. I do like to pull these off because I'm a pack rat. If they're in good shape, we keep them because you're gonna run into needing them again. And these are for side covers. So right there you go. I'm probably missing one or two on one of my supers, but these are pretty universal. So once you pull them out, if they're in good shape, you keep them. And yeah, we need to take these off. Little pin here, cotter pin, and then that'll come off, and then that's just mounted hard to the frame, interestingly enough. So yeah, got this one out. There was a bearing behind there, took pictures. We'll get that up on eBay. And yeah, sometimes, we got header pipes in here. I want those header pipes out of there. We do have the front header pipes, so I could probably sell all four together. Maybe the front two together, maybe the back two together. We'll see once I get them out, how I feel. All right, 2 wraps on this thing, and she popped free. So we definitely have gasket. That's good. Gasket's always a good thing to have on a cover, rather than gasket maker, which tends to be a mess. So, pulling that off. There's our giant rotor. There's our cover. So, cover with most of the gasket left. Just leave it on there, sew it as it is. Obviously, someone could try to use that, but they shouldn't. And here's your rotor. You take that bolt off there, and you can lift your rotor out of the way. And then under that, you're gonna have your stator. So there's your rotor on the outside and your stator's into that. Ugh. Oh yeah, now I'm gonna have oil. That oil looks awful. Did this have a blown head gasket? Or did it just get water in it from sitting outside forever? Oh my goodness, that's disgusting. I don't know what the oil looks like in this bike, but I guess we're gonna find out as we take the starter out. 8mm bolts came out of that end there on the starter. Yep, there you go. Right there they are in the grass. And then we're just gonna go in underneath and see if we can't pry it up. Get a good spot here. Well, I'll figure it out. Basically, there's a seal in here. It's probably sticking pretty good. And then I gotta find a good spot to pry it out of here. And then it'll slide out. You'll see the gear. And then we'll lift it out. Okay, so I did pry it very carefully from back here and over there and a little bit from the side here, or from the top. And I shifted her out. Now this battery cable, this goes to what, the starter solenoid? I think that goes to the starter solenoid, I believe, and then travels to the starter. That makes sense. That can come off here with a 10mm bolt. So there we go. Oh, we're already open from the other side, so we don't even have to worry about it. This engine doesn't, that's right, I forgot this was open from the other side. So it probably doesn't have any engine oil in here anyway. You'll probably go and take off the bottom of the engine case, the oil pan, if you will. Okay, starter looks to be in good shape. We'll have to see if she runs. We do test those. Put power to this and then touch the casing, and that grounds it, and you can run power through them, see how they are. It's kind of dirty. But yeah, taking this stuff off really doesn't matter because it's already been opened. That's funny, I forgot about that. All right, so anyway, here's a Wix oil filter. I wonder if that's actually good for this bike or if it's just on here randomly. Anything else I want to tear off at this moment? Oh, that's right. I want to flip it over and get the mounting bolts off the engine so it comes free. Then we can just roll it around. Take stuff off. All right, this bracket over here is 14mm with an impact. Oh, those are 12. Just this one's 14, and that goes through to the other side. So I have to hold it on the other side. So I will remove these with a 12. All right, got that nut off the other side. And then this is just a giant bolt that goes through the engine, which now that we're resting on it, oh, that wasn't hard. I thought that was gonna be holding a lot of pressure. Nope, not at all. So we don't lose this stuff, take this bolt, put it right here with that, and maybe, I usually lose that stuff or don't catalog it, so it's just a lost sale. And then down here we have pickup there. Down here we have this 14, it looks like. I think that's it for anything holding this in. Let's go back to the 14 again. Hopefully that's correct. Most of them are 14s. And yeah, we'll test the starter, and then that might be it for today. Oh, that's just spinning. That's just spinning. Does that mean that pulls through? That might actually just pull through. Nope, I gotta hold something. Something's spinning in there, and I have to figure out what it is. Must be something on the opposite side, or I have to just pop it through. Nope, there's the bolt. Okay, I just have to hit that through. I don't know if I can. All right, that's that. Yep, coming out this side. There we go. All right, so I must have a bolt somewhere that goes on that. I don't know, maybe, no, just a nut. I'll have to figure out where that nut is. Unless I didn't take it off and somebody else did. That's a possibility too. Okay, so does that mean this engine is free of the frame because I want those header. Yep, I think we're free. Let's get this out of the way. Basically, we just need to lift it up. Lift the frame off of this bike, which the frame should be pretty light. Here we go. Yeah. Something's caught. This line that's for what? The clutch? Yep, that's probably the clutch line. Okay. And then that wraps around down there. So that's gonna get crimped in there. But this whole frame is free of the engine. There we go. Now our headers can pop off there. Here we have a ground cable. Ground cables are usually located on the engine right around there. And then this guy, let's get that free. There's a little, yeah, I'm gonna have to fish this cable back through because I'm sure this would work if anybody wanted to use it until I crimp it. All right. So now the headers, they're getting held on by this poor cable, and the headers should be free, and I can just pull them out. Basically, they're all the bolts are off. This is how you get your rear headers off, guys. Just rip the entire bike down. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna work on getting this out of the way. This poor cable. All right, so you gotta find a clean spot. Whoops, just popped this off my battery. Gotta make sure your connections are good. Gotta find a clean spot on the housing of the starter because these guys are down below, they're gross. And you have to make sure you have a good connection with your positive line. So you can go ahead and make sure you have a clean, good connection. There you go, we got a good connection. She works. Okay. As long as you have a good solid connection, you're good to go. This battery's probably weak too. Okay, perfect. Test it out. All right, back to the V65 84 Sabre 1100. I cleaned out the junk, the old muffler wrap that was in there, and kind of tried to clean it out a little bit right there yet. I'm gonna get that out of there, and we're gonna reinstall this guy. Hopefully make a really good connection. I sprayed PB Blaster and got these bolts loose and free, so that was good. And then yeah, we'll just I got this wrap. Let's see, I got this off eBay. I don't know, it's supposed to be sealer, exhaust sealer, so we're gonna try that. We'll wrap this in around there, and then actually I guess I should wrap around the outside of this and then stick this down on top of it and then cinch those down, and we should be good. Let's see, those bolts are on the inside. I wonder if I can spin this around and make it easier to tighten those up. Make sure they're on the bottom so I can actually get to them from down here. All right, so I'm gonna work on this, and then this thing should be good and not leaking. That'll be nice. Looks like I was able to get it. I wrapped that stuff around it, and it kind of stuck to itself, so it stayed on the pipe. And then I was able to wiggle this muffler onto it. And I did spray the bolts with WD-40 to hopefully keep them nice and clean while I need to somehow get in here and torque them down, but it seems pretty solid already without tightening it down, so I think we're good. It's not moving around. I did put this bolt in just to hold it in place. So I'm gonna tighten down this clamp, and it's gonna be better than it was. But I think that tape is working out pretty good. So I think this was, what are those, 14? We gotta figure out a good way to get in there and torque those down. I wasn't sure if I had enough wrap in there, so I took it back off and actually wrapped it some more, and I worked this clamp down to here so that I could get these bolts on easier. So I think now, with twice the amount of wrap in there, we should be sealed up. So I'm gonna tighten these down. Now I can use an impact and no problem, and go from there. And then we will tighten up this bolt up here, put the nut on the back, and we'll be good to go with the Sabre. All right, that's perfect. She's not wiggly down there at all. So I'm loving this. Hopefully I get to ride it soon and it's not raining all the time. Yeah, so put this guy on the back here and tighten it up. Obviously you guys want to hear this thing. I wouldn't say it sounded like I had a leaky exhaust before, but the brake's not dragging at all. That's good because it hasn't been used at all. Let's see if she'll start. She hasn't been running a while. This battery's usually pretty strong. All right, let's give her some choke because she'll need it, and give her a hit. Is this even on? There we go. Okay, sometimes that's a little finicky. Here we go. She's dying. Not enough power to start. Come on. Not enough power to start. Well, I'm gonna have to come up with a charge. Thought maybe she'd just get on it and start. Nah. All right, she needs some battery charging. It's not good of me to keep doing that. All right, let's pop the side cover off and throw a slow trickle charger on it just to get her up. Oh, it's on the other side. Oh, there you go. There's our little rear brake. The other thing I might look at is we'll check the oh my words. I checked the vent and that's all clear. Thought maybe that's why it's not moving. Letting the caliper release, but that seems fine. There she is. Good old pirate battery. This thing came on the bike and it's still doing its thing. Still doing this thing all these days later, years later. I've had this bike for quite a while. All right, do I have one sitting in here? I'll have to find a charger around here somewhere. Here's some. Oh, I do have one in here. There it is. I thought there was one hanging out here for all the bikes that I kill. All right. Won't be a quick charge, but we'll come back to it when it's charged up. I'm gonna push this thing out so I can work in this space. Give me a little bit more space to paint a mirror. All right, guys. I'll start at the end of the video. Let's do one more thing on the Magna. Let's go get our foot pegs off here. We're gonna take off these rusty pins, clips, whatever you call them in your country. It's way easier to do when I'm paying attention and not have a camera in my hand. All right, this takes some precision. All right, let's get this off. I can just break it off. Usually when they're this rusty, they do end up just breaking off. All right. Oh, one of them came off. And probably I could pull through the other one. Well, yep, that broke off too. Now I just have to break it out of the end or just push this through. Now, this might break off too. Can I break this off without pulling it out? It's all so rusty. I'll just wiggle it till it's, there we go. Now I should be able to push it through. Still hanging up, so I'll get these off and get back to you. I got the cotter pin out. Oh yeah, that's what they're called, cotter pin. Actually, I didn't get it out, it just broke off in there, so might have to clean that out. But there's the dowel, the pin. I don't know what you want to call these guys. There's usually like a washer on the inside there, and then that goes through there, holds that on, and there's usually a washer on the other side, and then the cotter pin goes through the hole, and that holds everything together. So there's that one. Now, I guess we'll take that one too. I already took pictures of my the lower frame with that on, but we might as well save that one too. So let's get this one off and I'll show you the pair. All right, here is the forward control. That was actually held on. I don't know if yours was set up like this. This thing had a lot of welding done to it, so I'm not sure if that is actually factory or if this is factory. But this 14-inch bolt bolted right in there and held that in place. There's our two main foot pegs. And what are those rears? Those are rear foot pegs. Okay, those are rear. There's our main, or our front forward pegs. And yeah, we're gonna have to go steal this off of the cross member, which is actually right here. Ah, there it is. I guess I'll keep that since I have a matching pair. Yeah, see, that's what that is. 14 bolt and 14 millimeter bolt, which is stuck currently on this bolt. I gotta get it off. They like to do that. I kind of pushed it on because it was rusty, and that's where it stayed. So, grab a hammer and knock that through. There they are. The two forward controls, the rears, and I don't have any of the fronts for this bike anyway. But I will show you. There's some things I'm gonna steal off this yet. There's some bushings back here that the metal insert comes out. You can't get them out if you're not gonna remove the metal insert. But there, that slides out of there, and then you can pop this through the hole in the frame. Stuff like that. Rubber bits. I like to keep those. Probably someday when I die, somebody's gonna have to go through my shit and throw all that away. But like this metal, I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna take that off. Oh, there's a nice rubber grommet there. I'm gonna take that off and put it aside. Maybe sell it. I don't see much else around here that's gonna come off. We do have the side cover grommets over there. So yeah, we want those. There's one, two, and I think there's a third one. But at least those two. Oh, third one's down here. Yep, there it is. Otherwise, there's a bracket down here. It has a bolt, so we might as well take it off and save it. That's what I do. That's who I am. And one day, when I'm putting together a bike, all these things will come in handy. Yep, that's how it is. See if she's ready yet. She didn't tell me she's done charging, but see, I told you this was a little silly. There we go. Ready? Still not ready. Might just have to put a jump starter on her. Here's what happens when you get impatient. Battery's decent, 12.5. It's a standard. And you can do this and say engine starter. No, that's charging. And then it's on. All right, it's getting 12. I could jump it up to engine start, but let's let this cook for a little bit. 10 minutes on this machine, says it's ready to go. Let's see what happens now. You ready, bike? We're on. Let's go. Oh, and she fires right up. Just as I expected.